Hello, everyone. Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. I'm so glad to be here with you. I'm your host, Sophia, and I am delighted to work some tapping magic with you today on a really powerful subject, healing habits. The title of today is Habits Healed. So we're going to be working with our minds, working with that resistance, working with that stress that comes up when we try to change our mindset, when we try to create a new habit or break an old habit and establish a new pattern. So we're going to be going through what creates patterns and how to lovingly dissolve the way you've been doing things and resolve and reset and move yourself forward with some beautiful new uh, energetic habits, emotional habits, focus, and a calm nervous system, most importantly, right? Because the thing that sabotages us is when we're not completely in alignment with that new way of being. And it takes a minute to get yourself on that right track and to steady yourself until it becomes like the new norm. Okay. Magnus, thank you so much for running Circle and helping behind the scenes and making it go, being the great tech wizard and loving human being that you are. Big shout out to Magnus. Thank you so much for holding it down. Looking here at my tablet, Magnus, I haven't seen the chat pop up yet. Maybe you can have a look. So while he's doing that, I'm going to say hi to all of you who are live here with me. If you are live, say hello in the chat so we know that you're here and where you're logging in from. I'm still amazed at how I can sit here at my house out in the country and talk to you all over the world, and you can be processing your feelings 24/7, night and day, whenever you're watching one of these videos or live here with us. So I just love that about this work. Hey, Christine in Greenville, Tennessee. Ryan Fry, present here on the land with the critters. Carmen says hi from Los Angeles. Amanda says hi. Amanda and Ryan joining from Canada. Oh, so glad to know that you're here with us. Yeah, and whoever else is here. Maddie, hi. I saw your sweet man, Christian, at the burn this year. All right. So the theme, as I said a minute ago, is healing habits. What habits or habit would you like to focus on? Remembering that these are pretty short taps. They can be intense. You might need to do this tap several times in different angles, working on different angles of the same habit, for it, depending on how deep and old and invested you are in this old way of being. But eventually, it'll soften, just like a knot. We pull a little bit here, pull a little there, give it a little slack there, and pretty soon it just kind of goes bleh, and then it just whoosh, shifts. So we're going to work gently, we're going to work steadfastly, we're going to stay consistent and persistent in our practice to keep unraveling our tiny little knots and opening ourselves to our full potential. Because that's fun, because that's sexy, because that's exciting, because that gives your nervous system a feeling of traction, and then you take action, and then your life starts moving forward, and the people around you are like, what you doing different? You're like, well, I'm talking to myself, I'm tapping on my face, I'm processing my stuff. You're like, wow, I want some of that. That looks good on you. It does. So one habit that I've been resolving is what I put in my mouth. What I'm eating, what I'm drinking, when I'm taking stuff into my body, food, and working on how to get my body healthier, stronger, lighter, younger, and just optimizing my lifespan, because I have a life worth living and I want to be here. I want to be loving you, supporting you, training you, teaching you, helping you, and enjoying the excitement of watching humans bloom and blossom and develop. So I'm investing into my health, and that means creating some new habits. And I'm happy to say that the harder part of that, at least on the piece I'm focusing on, has moved and shifted. And when I woke up this morning, I was like, I want to help everyone else. I bet others are struggling to create some positive change and to get on the right track. So that's the inspiration for today, is some success I'm having doing the same thing I'm about to teach you. So normally we will do the core causes at this moment, but today I want to actually do something different. I want you to grab something to write with and something to write on. It could be your phone, it could be your computer, it could be a piece of paper. And I want us to look at what you want to create. In a way, this is a manifestation tap. What is it that you want to create? For me, it was to drop some weight. And I knew exactly how much. I didn't give myself a deadline, but I was like, okay, I want to lighten up. So pick a habit. It could be any habit. Please don't try to do all your habits in this one tab. Maybe it's a habit of getting to bed on time. Maybe it's drinking more water. Maybe it's a habit of setting boundaries and holding them, speaking up for yourself. Maybe it's a habit of receiving compliments, letting yourself be loved. It could be anything. It could be letting your nails grow out instead of chewing them. It could be saving money. There's so many ways you can use this tap, and I hope that you'll come back and use this tap multiple times, not just for the same habit, but in different areas of your life. Remembering that all these taps can be found in our video library where we upload new taps, and you can tap with replay videos anytime, 24 hours a day. All right, so you've written your habit, your habit that you'd like to change or / create. So like I'm changing like eating at night, for example, in order to create this new lighter body. Okay. And then underneath that, I want to hear your excuses. I'd like you to write all your yeah, but I tried and it didn't work. Yeah, but it's too hard. All your yeah, buts and your what ifs. Yeah, but and what if. Write them all down. Doesn't matter if they're only like a tiny little part of you thinks that, 2% of me thinks that, 20% of me feels this way. Write it down. Take a couple minutes. We're creating a list of all your yeah buts, all your excuses, your what ifs, towards creating a new habit, dissolving an old habit, however you want to look at it. The old habit is biting my nails. New habit is having long, beautiful nails. Just another minute or so. To write down all your lists of why this is probably not going to happen. Now, I want you to also ask yourself, does anyone in your family of origin have the same habit or have a hard time breaking the same habit? And you can guess. You maybe don't know for sure, but it kind of feels like, or it's, you know, you've heard talk, or you can infer that, yeah, my dad might be struggling, or my mom struggled with the same thing. Just checking to see if this is like a family tradition, or is it just you? Maybe it was something that everyone in your family does. And underneath this, I want you to say how you feel about having this habit that you're trying to heal. Exhausted, angry, sad, frustrated, tired, mad, resigned, hopeless, helpless. And now I'd like you to list some of the negative uh, thoughts that you have about it, like I'll never be able to, everyone in my family does this, people my age struggle with this, I'm too old, I'll do it later. Any negative beliefs or thoughts, limiting thoughts. And write all that down. Just another minute to finish that up. And now I'd like you to write some positive statements. They would be the opposite of these limiting statements. And you're going to write them in the affirmative, what you would love to be telling yourself instead of these limiting things. And you're going to write in the affirmative. Instead of writing like, you don't suck for biting your nails, it's, I'm so proud of you for growing your nails, right? So you're going to, what would you like your best friend to cheer you on and say? Your most supportive person, your wisest, kindest self would say what to you about this? You can do it. It's not as hard as you think. I got you. I'll hold your hand. You're going to love this. What are you going to tell yourself? All right. So now we are going to jump straight into our tapping portal. Are you ready? Let's do this. Beautiful. Here we go. Finding the collarbones, dropping down to the front of the chest. Big deep breath. Tuning in to this habit that you're wanting to heal. And before we begin, I want you to pick back up your pen. I want you to put an intensity number next to the title of this thing that you're working on. Like, how intense is this issue for you in terms of pain, friction, struggle? Maybe it's an 8, maybe it's a 10. And then quickly scan down what else you've written, and I'd like you to jot down a number of intensity next to every yeah, but, and what if, every feeling, every limiting belief. You don't have to jot those numbers next to the positive statements that you wrote last, but just all this limiting stuff. Put a number indicating how intense it is, how much anger, how much embarrassment, how much shame, how much stress. 1 to 10. 10 is the most, 1 is the least. And when you're done massaging the sore spots on the front of the chest, big deep breath. Relaxing towards this issue. We're just hanging out with this habit that's looking for some healing. And just noticing the resistance, the friction in the field around this subject. And breathe. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it tension in your stomach, a clenching in your jaw, tension in your head, tightness in your back or neck? I'm just tapping the eyebrows and accepting for now that you have this friction in the field, this resistance. And tapping the temples, and say with me, even though there's a part of me that doesn't want to look at this. Tapping the cheeks, it's okay. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the nose, this part of me doesn't want to look at this. Tapping under the lips. All this resistance. Tap the chest and just feel the resistance around this topic for now. Tapping down to the front of the ribs, this resistance about, and then say the habit that you're looking to heal. Tapping the side of the ribs, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the inside of the wrist, even with this habit. Tapping the side of the thumb. Tapping the index finger. And the stress it creates for me. Tap the middle finger. What's the first yeah, but, or what if that you wrote down? Your main complaint is what? I've tried and it hasn't worked, or it stresses me out when I try to change this. Your first thing on your list, say it out loud. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Part of me feels what? Tap the little finger. It's okay. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the side of the hand, even if a part of me feels, and then say it again. Tapping the top of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the sides of the head, back of the head, tapping the eyebrows, even if, tapping the temples. A part of me has struggled tapping the cheeks for so long. How long have you been struggling with this habit? My whole life? 10 years? 20 years? Tapping into the lips. And just give yourself some compassion. It's a long time. Even 6 months is a long time. Tapping the chest. And how do you feel about it? Maybe you feel mad, or you feel angry at yourself, or you feel disappointed in yourself. Tapping the front of the ribs. It's okay that I feel, and then say how you feel. Tapping the front of the bottom of the rib cage. Tapping the side of the ribs. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the inside of the wrist, even though this habit has been draining me. Tap the side of the thumb. Draining me of what? What has this habit cost you? It's been draining me of energy. Having the index finger draining me of vitality. Tap the middle finger, draining me of attention or focus. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. Maybe it's cost you money. Tap the little finger. Maybe it's cost you time. Yeah. Tapping the side of the hand. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the top of the head, even though. Tapping the eyebrows. This habit, tapping the temple, has cost me, and then say what it's cost you. Maybe it's cost you your health. Maybe it's cost you a relationship, friendships. Tapping the cheeks. I'm tapping into the nose. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the lips, even if I feel bad. Tapping the chest about how much this has cost me. Big deep breath, tap the ribs. Tap the side of the ribs. It's cost me self-respect. Check and see. Has it cost me self-respect, self-esteem? I'm tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the side of the thumb. Even though this habit has limited my energy, my mind. Tap the index finger. My focus. Tap the middle finger. My finances. See, just check and see. I'm tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the little finger. Big deep breath. Strong exhalation. Tapping the side of the hand. It's okay for me to release the stress, the shame. Tapping the front of the ribs and breathing. check in and see, tapping the side of the ribs, if there's any shame about this ongoing thing that you find yourself doing, slipping back into, choosing to do while you're watching yourself, feeling like, here I am doing it again. Or there I went. Whoa, I just returned to consciousness and I ate the whole thing, or I smoked, or I drank, or I had sex with this person, or I spent the money, or whatever you do. Tapping the side of the thumb. There's a part of me, tapping the index finger. It's trying to get, what are you trying to get from this habit? Comfort. Tap the middle finger. Love. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Maybe you were trying to get energy. Tap the little finger. Maybe you just wanted to feel good, even for a minute, even temporarily. Tap the side of the hand. This part of me that was trying to get, and then say what it was: pleasure, relief, tapping the top of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the eyebrows, the temples, even if, tapping the cheeks, a part of me, tapping under the nose, has been trying to get, and then say what you were trying to get from this. Comfort, fun, relief, love, connection. Tapping the front of the ribs. It's okay that I need and want relief. Tap the side of the ribs. And breathe. Tap the inside of the wrist. It's okay that I've been craving comfort. And tapping the side of the thumb. Tapping the index finger. It's okay that I'm looking for connection, attention, companionship, tap the middle finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. Even though I've been craving, and then what is the habit driving you to do? Craving eating, craving drinking, craving, taking care of other people. That can be a habit where we're constantly focused on other people instead of checking with how our life, how our bodies, what our own needs are. Tapping the little finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the side of the hand. And I accept that I have needs for love, relief, comfort, pleasure, connection. Tapping the top of the head, sides of the head, tapping the eyebrows and the temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the cheeks, even if I've been struggling with, and then say the habit. Tapping into the nose, and I still have some resistance to dealing with this. Big deep breath, strong exhalation. Tapping into the lips, tuning into the resistance, the friction in the field around dealing with this. Tapping the chest. Yeah, I still feel, and then look at your list of yeah buts and what ifs. What's another thing on that list that has a really high number next to it that still feels relevant? I still feel afraid of what? Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the side of the ribs. Tapping the inside of the wrist. And I forgive myself, or I'm open to forgiving myself for, and then say that thing you've been struggling with that's on your list that has a high number next to it. Feeling like I've tried and failed. And breathe, tapping the index finger. This part of me that still fears, and then say that same fear again. And breathe. Tap the middle finger. Where do you feel that fear, worry, or concern in your body? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I feel this, and then say where you feel it. This fear of, say it out loud. Or this belief that, and then say what it is. I've tried and failed so many times that I just can't do it. Tap your little finger. I'm open to releasing this thought, and then say this thought again, or this fear. And the energy around this, tap the top of the head. From my body, tapping the sides of the head, the back of the head. From my mind, tap the eyebrows. And from my heart, releasing this old energy, tapping the cheeks. That says what? And then say that fear, worry, or concern again. Same one that we're just now working on. Tapping into the nose. See if it still feels as intense. If you forgot what we're working on, look at your page. It's got a high number next to it. It's on your list of yeah buts and what ifs. And tap the chest. There's a part of me that secretly believes, and then say what you've been thinking you're going to get. I secretly believe that I'm going to protect myself. I secretly believe that I'm going to stay connected with my family through holding this pattern that matches with so many people in my family. Or connected with my friends because we're all struggling with something similar. And if I changed, we wouldn't relate to each other like we did. Like I would have to kind of like, I'd be on the outside of that group where we all get together and be like, yeah, we all have the same problem. Tap the inside of the wrist. What else would happen? If I healed this, what do you think would happen? Maybe it's a limiting thing, like, well, then I would have this bigger responsibility, or I would have this other problem. Tapping the side of the thumb and breathing. Tap the index finger. Part of me is sticking to this old familiar habit. Tap the middle finger because it's what I'm used to. Let's just hang out and say that. It's just what I'm used to. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. It's become part of my personality, part of my identity. Tap your little finger. Even though it became a part of my personality, tap the side of the hand because it's how I grew up. Tap the top of the head, and I've struggled for so long. It's made me feel weak, ashamed, embarrassed. Tapping the eyebrows. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the temples. And tapping the cheeks. But I give myself permission, tapping under the nose, to heal this. Tapping under the lips. I give myself permission, tapping the chest, to release any remaining stress around this habit. Tap the front of the ribs. Look at your list. What stress is still there? Maybe there's something we haven't addressed yet that still has a pretty high number next to it. Tap the side of the ribs. Let's say that one right now. Yeah, this piece about what? Maybe it's a feeling. Maybe it's a thought. Maybe it's a fear. Tapping the inside of the wrist. This piece about, and then say it again. Tapping the side of the thumb. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the index finger. And I accept this remaining piece just as it is. Maybe it'll never change. Maybe I'm always going to feel embarrassed, ashamed, stupid, helpless, old. Tap the middle finger and breathe. And stuck. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I give myself permission to stay stuck for the rest of my life. I know that sounds strange to say, but humor me. Say it, give yourself permission to stay stuck. I'm just going to be this way forever. And tap your little finger, and I might be. You might be. Tap the side of the hand. I've tried everything. Nothing's going to shift this for very long. Tapping the top of the head. I release the need to stay stuck for the rest of my life. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. Tap the eyebrows. I release the need to stay stuck for the rest of my life. Tapping the temples just because. Tap the cheeks. That's what I've been used to. tapping into the nose. I don't have to stay stuck for the rest of my life, tapping under the lips. It's possible this doesn't have to be as hard as it used to be, tapping the chest. It's possible that I'm just releasing and unwinding the fear behind it. Tap the front of the ribs. So what's the real fear? If I were let go of this, let's say for me, it's like if I drop 20 more pounds, what comes up? If I let go of this addiction, what would happen? Well, then I would have to deal with what? My feelings, a different level of attention, a bunch more energy. What would happen for you? Big deep breath. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the index finger, and I give myself permission to release this imaginary benefit of not having to deal with what? Unwanted sexual attention, managing all my creative energy, having to have healthy boundaries, or having to focus on my own feelings, my own needs, my own life, rather than ignoring, numbing myself by staying busy with taking care of everybody else. Tap your little finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, tapping the side of the hand. And I give myself the possibility of getting my life force back. Tap the top of the head. Gently, easily, and spontaneously coming into alignment. Tap the eyebrows with what? What do you rather be doing? Having a light, healthy body, having a peaceful, stable life. Coming into alignment with giving my gifts consistently, tapping into the nose. Feeling safe and stable financially. I'm creating for myself. And then say what it is you're creating. It's going to be a new pattern, a new habit. And we're just going to start gently looking at that, saying it out loud. I'm creating, and tap the front of the ribs, the possibility of having, being, doing, or feeling what? Tap the side of the ribs. Say it again. Allowing myself to have what? Tap the inside of the wrist. And to feel what? Say it out loud. Tap the thumb and breathe. I'm tapping the index finger. Allowing myself to enjoy what? Tap the middle finger. Allowing myself to feel what? Self-respect, harmony in relationship. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, peace. Tap the little finger, strength. Tap the side of the hand, alive, healthy, vital. Tap the top of the head, allowing myself to feel safe. Tap the eyebrows and breathe. And tapping the temples. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the cheeks. And I give myself permission, tapping under the nose. To grow, tapping under the lips. To evolve. That sounds fun. Tapping the chest. To learn. And tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself permission. Tapping the side of the ribs to grow. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm allowing myself to feel relaxed. Tap the side of the thumb. Allowing this to be easier than I thought it might be. Tapping the index finger, even if, what are all the things that could happen? Even if, just say them one by one. Maybe good things, maybe things that you're afraid of. Take a whole minute. I'm going to tell you where to tap and remind you to breathe, and you say all the things that could happen if and as this pattern begins to shimmer and shake and release and transform. I could what? And what else? Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Tap the little finger, and what else? Tap the side of the hand, what else? And the top of the head, the sides of the head, and the back of the head. What else could happen? Keep breathing, tapping the eyebrows, tapping the temples, and what else? And the cheeks. Tapping into the nose. All that might happen. And tapping into the lips. And I'm giving myself the possibility of tapping this chest, telling myself, and this is where we're going to use that list of positive statements that you wrote at the very end of the beginning of our session. These positive statements, telling myself what? Tap the front of the ribs. Say it again. The side of the ribs. What else? The inside of the wrist. Telling myself what? side of the thumb. And allowing myself to feel proud of myself. Tap the index finger. Good about myself. It's okay to feel good about myself. Tap the middle finger. Even if many people around me don't feel good about themselves. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. It's okay to feel really good about myself. Tap the little finger. Even if other people around me are still struggling. Tap this side of the hand. I give myself permission to enjoy moving myself forward gently, joyfully, tapping the top of the head, spontaneously, tap the eyebrows. Tell yourself your favorite positive thing on your list of affirmations. What do you want to hear again and again? You did it. You're amazing. I have so much love and respect for you. I knew you could do it. You did it. I believed in you this whole time. Tapping all over the body. How are you feeling now, divine being? What did you learn? Celeste says, really good. Shoo. Tap, 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 tap. What did you learn, everyone? And if you want, you can write down what you learned. You can write it big on another piece of paper, tape it to your wall, tape it to your mirror, tape it to your fridge. I learned this. I am committed to. Write that down. What are you committed to? Right? Because what we're committed to, which is really just what a habit is, it's something I've been committed to. It can be positive and support you, like exercising or getting enough sleep or eating healthy foods. Right? It could be negative. I could be committed to, hurting myself. But we can also be equally, if not more so, committed to helping ourselves. Tracy says, thank you. I cleared so much. I am committed to owning my desires. Gabriella says, to tap every time I want to do this again. That's super smart, Gabriella. You can actually just accept the craving or the sensation or the impulse for 30 seconds. If you'll just tap, that feeling will peak and then it will subside. Especially when it meets your acceptance, you just pause and be like, yeah, I feel like eating the whole bag or whatever it is. I feel like going off in that direction, and pretty soon your nervous system will just go boop. And you'll literally lose the charge, you'll lose the desire, you will lose the compulsion just because you've accepted for 30 seconds that compulsion. Maddie says, wow, I feel ready to meet the moment with acceptance. What really landed was take a deep breath. It's not as hard as you think. Beautiful. Thank you for letting me know. Ariel says, it's okay to feel good about myself. Yeah, wow, right? Diana says, I could feel releases of resonance with people not feeling good about themselves. Nice to know the feeling and the practice in the future. Oh, beautiful. All right, sweet beings. Thank you for healing habits with me. I very much look forward to being with you every week. Thank you for hanging out even when it's in replay mode. Sometimes I've had two big electrical issues about 5 or 6 weeks apart out here in the country. Sometimes it's rain. It affects the internet. And of course, I did have a huge trip to Burning Man that took a lot of energy, time, both to prep and to pack and recover from. So I appreciate you keeping this group alive with your love and attention and presence, even when you have me beaming in from the past to support you. And Magnus here with you. Ryan says, oh, maybe I can grow up. Yeah, good job. Kim says, I'm committed to my peaceful, trusting mindset that my goals are manifesting in perfect time, feeling the relief. It was fun to see you at Burning Man. Oh, thanks, Kim. All right. Well, I want to tell you one thing. My training for 2025, the last training of this year, registration closes tomorrow. So if you put in an application today, you will maybe still make it to the training. Train with Sonya if you want to come do tons of EFT, ecstatic dance, meditation, eat fresh, clean, organic food, swim in natural water, sunshine, fresh air, deep, loving, cuddly, sweet friends to be with, to go deep with, to clear with, and about 6 hours a day of tapping. We have this coming up for you. I want you to be there. I want to train you so that you can A, heal your life, B, change your relationships and the way you parent yourself / community / kids / world, give your divine purpose from a clean, healthy nervous system, and help the people around you who are struggling and looking to you for comfort, love, support, guidance, and advice. So, trainwithsonya.us is the website. That's where you will see whatever trainings I have coming up. Registration closes tomorrow. Get your application in today if you want to come. And I am going to leave you with this song that I love by a guy named A.V. Kaplan, a song called On the Rise. Thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you in the circle.
Without the light or the darkness come, hold through the night, the shadows will run. Fend off the enemy, sing out the jubilee with all the fire we can breathe. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling, I feel a change on the rise. What good's a man who's lost his soul? Can't take a stand when his flame's gone cold. out the jubilee with all the fire we can breathe. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, you know. Night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong, heading up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. I feel a change on the ride. I feel a change on the, I feel a change on the ride. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, you know. Night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong, headed up, down the river. Oh Lord, I feel the reveling. I feel a change on the rise. We're singing all day and you can't tame it. High tide, low tide, you know. Night time, the morning time, yeah. We're going strong.